Reserve time. Dire team ban.
And we are back. The Summit 3 by Gigabytes opening match for day number 3. It's Elimination Day here in LA. We have got Evil Geniuses taking on Rave in the lower bracket of Group A, joined by LD and Cinderin.
There will be a lot of tears today. 4 teams going home.
Oh boy, this is my favorite day of the event. I love the days where teams get knocked out, where there's tears. This is what, I mean, I want to see tears. This is
5 seconds.
This is fun. I don't know if that sounds sadistic, but that is where the storylines are made. This is where dreams are shattered. This is
not everyone can win.
The juicy stuff,
right? Not everyone can win.
I'm just like Reddit. I want my drama, you know. I got to have my fix.
Okay.
I'm an addict.
Okay, man. you keep on telling yourself that you're not a sadist.
No. But no, we've got a draft. Let's hop ourselves into the draft, guys, before we get too far along. EG versus Rave. Guys, Slack's made a bold prediction, 2-0, going with Rave. I think it goes without saying that you guys probably disagree.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he could have just stopped at Slack's made a prediction. We would have been good.
Okay. Do you think it's going to be 2-0, though? Do you see... I mean, I think it was you who mentioned that if any game goes 3 series out of the 2 opening ones, it will be this one.
Yeah. But I still think it's unlikely.
Yeah. Most likely outcome 2-0 EG, second most likely outcome 2-1.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I agree.
other outcomes extremely unlikely, but not impossible.
All right.
Who knows? Maybe they didn't get much sleep last night.
All right. Well, draft is underway and picks starting to unravel here. Let's hop ourselves into it. It's Team EG versus Rave.
10 seconds.
Ooh,
remaining.
I feel cold seeing that.
Okay. Can I change my prediction? So I think it might be 2-1. I think getting Wisps feels very strong in this patch to me, and I think it's something that could catch EG a bit off guard. We'll see, though.
Do Rave play a lot of Beastmaster, or is this just like a...
It feels like a partially like EG just thinks the hero's very strong right now to me. Cloud9 have been obviously showing a lot with it. Empire is the other big team that's been dominating with Beastmaster, so... Yeah, I don't think Rave have run that much of it, though.
Well, you gotta imagine when it's an elimination match that EG have done their research, and whether Rave play the hero a lot or not, they're obviously banning it either for the they're banning it because it's a strong pick in the version no matter what. So they'll be grabbing Lina as the first counter pick to IO. One thing I often put a lot of emphasis on when you're playing against the Wisp, the game becomes catch and kill Wisp. I feel like that's how it generally goes. Lina with a Yule setup can actually solo Wisp most of the time. It's possible it's a core Lina for Sumail. We don't know that yet. It could be a support. And in either case, you have Laguna Blade no matter what. So if IO just gets to half health, you pretty much have a kill. All right, now it's definitely a dead Wisp.
Yep. And this is where I feel like EG, yesterday you mentioned the Undying Kunkka support duo. Those are just... not really the kind of aggressive, kind of funky supports that suit players like AUI. I feel like AUI, he's known for his greedy support play, but he can play non-greedy 5-position supports, but the ones he plays are like your Skywrath Mage, Lion, Lina type supports. Like he can that off lane, but it doesn't work. I don't see him playing heroes like Undying or Kunkka as a support.
I do like the Lina line a lot versus Wisp, though. I forget who was running this. It's hard to... It was a while back now, like a couple weeks ago, but they just have so much burst against Wisp. And if you could just blow up the Wisp, it takes almost all the wind out of the tiny Wisp combo. So I do like these two heroes, and I mean, I guess potentially we're even looking at a core Lina at this point.
I think that's the most likely.
So it would be Sumail Lina then.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to send Lina mid versus Wisp Tiny. That to me is a really bad matchup for Lina.
Yeah, she would need some kind of help.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a 1-on-2. She is really not good in that matchup, that's true.
I feel like Lina at this point is unlikely to go mid. You could see like what some teams like VP do where you safe lane farm the Lina.
I think Fear
kind
plays
of
safe lane Lina, actually. I think we have seen that at least once.
That's true.
And that's where you put Sumail on like his kind of more carry-oriented mid
Shadow Fiend or something.
Shadow Fiend, Storm, which now gets banned out, Queen of Pain.
I do like that band. A great hero just blowing up Wisp as well, isolating him and pretty evasive. You see the relocate coming, you can always just ball away. So I think it's good on multiple fronts here.
I'd be surprised if we see EG grab Shadow Fiend. I don't feel like it's a good matchup against IO Tiny if that's the possible dual lane mid.
What are the better mid heroes versus IO Tiny, would you say?
Bristleback's really good. Tidehunter's really good.
I think Quap is fine too.
How about Timbersaw?
He dies.
Yeah, I don't
Timber
think
mid
he's
doesn't, like, there's not really good trees to chain to.
Ice was complaining to me because he wants to use his pro gear, you know. Timbersaw's just too weak, man.
He got buffed though.
5 seconds.
A little bit.
What got, it was the armor way now. But then he also got nerfed with the reactive armor change where it waits for the attack to land, I believe now, instead of...
oh yeah,
that's actually a pretty sizable nerf in some ways.
I mean, Bristleback is something Rave could still go to here, even, I feel like, if they want to change up the lanes a little bit. It's something we saw from them, was it at DAC with the Bristleback Wisp off lane, where they just wrecked an enemy tri-lane?
10 seconds.
Stands up reasonably well against heavy burst, and could just be a curveball to the draft that EG isn't expecting.
It is an approach that's actually very cool in some games where one team just... You see a logical partner for the Wisp, and you just automatically assume that this lane is happening.
Yeah, you just
And
tunnel
then
vision on it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just switch it up at some point. And I think, especially after the change to Toss, Tiny is not completely dependent on Wisp. We've also seen Tiny played in a new way over the last few months compared to like a year ago, where we're now seeing more Blink Daggers. You even see players experimenting with like Shadow Blade, maybe even both.
It was
maybe
just
going full
yesterday
utility Tiny.
we saw a mid Tiny solo. They had a Wisp Tiny, but then Silo just went solo mid. The Wisp offensive tri-lane, and they crushed that game. So teams are mixing it up, even when they have the Wisp Tiny, as you're trying to say.
It goes to Brood. EG not going to take any chances here. And I think at this point you probably pick the hero for Universe. You've already just banned 2 offlaners that you don't want to deal with yourself. And maybe if you grab a third, you put yourself in a pretty good position, maybe forcing Rave a little bit out of their comfort zone.
So what is that hero for Universe? Something ideally that is good against the Tiny, the Wisp?
I think Tide is actually really good.
Yeah. Phoenix is also
Radiant
quite
too,
solid, I think.
Phoenix could work too. That's true.
But
it's a little bit tricky playing Phoenix into IO, of course. If IO doesn't die and the overcharge is running, it's easier to counter the egg, but it's not like that's not a real counter. But sometimes it has an impact. So the reason I like Tide a lot is that we saw that at Starladder, where Vici Gaming just completely ruined the game of Wisp by having like every core hero in their lineup being impossible to relocate on. Like you relocate on Tide, you get Ravaged. Magnus, kind of the same idea. You relocate onto him, you instantly get either skewered or RP'd and turned on. And a big part of Wisp's strength, I feel like this hero has 2 strengths, right? The one is its dominance in lane and its ability to just make a hero be able to play matchups that it couldn't with like pretty much any other hero. And the second thing is relocate. And if you take relocate out of the equation and you have a solution to, at least you don't need to win the laning stage, then maybe you just break even, but then it's fine because then the Wisp's strength with relocate doesn't really contribute as much as, for example, a Finger of Death would in many cases from Lion.
Yeah, this Magnus, to some extent, also does feel like a bit of a block pick. EG does fit their draft well. They needed that big initiator, but we've seen teams getting Tiny Wisp Magnus just, even down like 20k gold, just completely turn the game around. So
I still feel like if you're worried about Rave picking it, you ban it, because if EG picking it are saying they wanted this hero, because if they were worried about Rave getting it, they just use one of their bans on it. If
it's more just convenient that
yeah.
it also would have been good for Rave.
I wonder, I mean, you mentioned they're likely to pick a Universe hero. Do you think this is going to be an offlane Magnus, or where else? It doesn't feel like a Sumail hero. I'm sure.
I've seen Sumail play Magnus before.
Was he really good at it, or was he like...
A Universe Void.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe Fear Void, I guess.
Maybe Fear Void.
They needed something to benefit from the Empower. Otherwise, I think...
Benefits from Empower, great against Relocate. This is a potentially very strong pick.
I actually still have a feeling that this is a safe lane Void, because I don't think they want Lena Linus their support duo, and then it's the only constellation that makes sense.
So then Fear... So you think it's safe lane Void, so then it's off lane Mag for Universe.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's the most likely, or to me that's the thing that makes most sense, because if you put Lena Linus support duo, I think we saw that 2 days ago actually, if they don't do well in the start, that support duo is pretty fragile. They really depend on getting level 6 to a large extent on both heroes, and It's kind of a big investment into the laning stage where if your ganks don't work, in a way it's similar to if you run, say, a Shadow Demon, what would that be, like Shadow Demon Lina roaming, or Shadow Demon Lishrak, and your ganks fail. Then all of a sudden you have these two very liable, two liabilities basically until you reach level 6. And I don't know if EG can afford that against a Wisp Tiny. But maybe they just plan to execute.
It is interesting that they pick into the Void versus Wisp, because on the one hand, it does counter relocate the Chronosphere, but relocate to some extent counters the Chrono if you time it just right. So, used to be something Cloud9 would do a lot against Lasso. Pylai died, I think, was exceptional at just interrupting Batrider Lassos, and could be something that really works well for Rave here. They go into Viper, wanted a reasonably strong laner here, and also someone who just tanks up against burst damage, which is pretty much what EG is all about. They're all about that one big combination of ultimates just to try and blow someone up as the fight breaks out.
And Rave tasted this firsthand, right? They were the ones that Viper got picked against by Vici Gaming. When they had a really heavy magic damage lineup, they had a Zeus and stuff, I think, on day 1. Or was it... They had a lot of magic damage, I remember, and I remember the insta-picked Viper 4th against that kind of style, so it looks like they...
Ooh.
All right.
This hero has been slowly getting buffed patch after patch. The big thing that keeps on getting buffed is Death Pact. The duration's been going up, the cooldown's been going down, and that to me was always one of the weaknesses of the hero, is that you had very little, like you have to go into the jungle, find the big creep, then you have to immediately go and find a fight, and the window to find that fight was pretty small, like you go back like a year ago, but now you have a lot more time where you can be active and involved.
And when that Death Pact wears off in the middle of the fight, it's like, oh crap, I just lost.
The Death Pact makes
so much damage.
Makes the hero. You lose damage, you're much squishier, so...
Yeah.
And actually, I think the biggest buff to Clinks in this version that we haven't really seen teams use too much is Desolator. It's a lot cheaper. It costs 600 gold less. You get 10 damage less, but if you compare that, that's like the amount of damage you get for Claws of Attack, and they cost 450, right? But the rate at which you can get a Desperate quickly. I don't know if this is an Orchid game for Clinks even. Getting a Deso build, he is arguably, around the time he gets Deso, just with 1 point in strafe, easily the hardest physical damage hero in the game for a good 10-minute window. And against heroes like what Rave has, a Tiny actually gets completely shredded by a Clinks with a Deso. So does Wisp. It's like a 2 or 3 shot. It's a good solution of dealing with the Viper, who's of course going to be very resistant against their magical damage. But I would love to see that from Fear in this game. We'll see if that's the choice. And Night Stalker last pick for Rave.
Yeah, they went into that aggression. They went into that pretty quickly. It felt like they knew what they wanted, and it's someone that, like you said, early aggression. They need to get something done with the Night Stalker, at least creating space for this Tiny Wisp pretty early on in the game.
And I feel like in contrast to what we saw yesterday, 2 days ago against Vici Gaming, I wouldn't say this is a very aggressive draft from Rave, but it's a better draft against what the opponent has, where it doesn't seem like just on paper they're going to lose lanes and be in a lot of trouble. This time they have a shot at getting into a pretty decent 10 to 15 minute mark, and then maybe the Night Stalker can put a lot of pressure for them.
Weird build from Rio to get the Mango as an offlaner. I feel like his lack of HP regen could be a serious issue for him.
All right, he's got one per second. Let's calm down here.
Mango value.
Don't count the mango out. The face that you made was so good there. I wish we had that on stream. So the runes are going to spawn now, and twofer. Oh, we know the win rate when a team gets 2 bounty runes is pretty high.
51.
I think it was into the 60s, actually.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's now, obviously, you know, how much of that is the double rune spawn versus, like, just having a stronger draft that can secure the runes reliably, or all kinds of other factors. But still, it's an interesting...
Or just generally that the better team tends to get 2 runes.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. They're focusing on it a lot more.
EG, with this support duo, the Lion Lina. Trying to find some early kills here. PPDX gets revealed, which is... Well,
this could very easily not work out.
I think he saw him there.
Right.
Yeah. I think Cast just saw him.
Oh, Cast is now on the run, but he gets slowed by the Time Walk. No,
he's fine.
Not in range. Oh, he's going to turn for a Cast that sets up a Hex, and Lina, LSA, going to hit both. Oh, boy.
I think he could have just ran away there.
I actually think he would have lived if he just walked.
I was surprised he
Turning was what allowed the Hex to go off.
Yep.
Maybe the pressure getting to him a little bit. Unfortunate.
He might have thought he was slowed more by the Time Walk than he was. It is pretty underwhelming slow on level 1, and it didn't... Like, how long does it last? I actually can't remember. Time walk. It's been a
Couple
while
of
since
seconds, I
we've seen
believe.
Void. So 20% slow for 3 seconds. I feel like it already had been 3 seconds, actually.
I think when he
I think it
turned
was
to
over.
cast, the slow... Yeah, exactly. It was over.
Well, unfortunate. EG do use the smoke there, and I guess we'll settle down to the lanes now a little bit. So Fear going to be running the safe lane Clinks, and I mean, this is really where Clinks excels, is in a 1v1 matchup against a melee bruiser that can't get up in his face too easily. Should be very tough, especially with, you mentioned, David, the low HP region on Ryo. May need to ferry out some tangos, a salve. It's got one remaining here. He's quickly chewing through them.
And this is where the EG supports don't have to put any time and effort into helping out Fear in the safe lane. He should be able to just crush this lane. They can prioritize winning the off lane, ganking the mid lane, the Wisp Tiny, helping out there, and they can be very active on the map in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Absolutely, and I mean, this is what you want to see if you're EGs. Fear focusing on zoning out that Night Stalker, slow him down as much as possible. He is still getting experience though, and ultimately, it's all about the first nighttime more so than winning the farm trade. They know they're going to lose this as far as that goes. They're getting good farm on the tiny mid. Mag not the easiest kill.
Mag doing fine. He's got 10 CS. This is what you want from your mid lane against a Wisp Tiny.
Fairly durable in general. But a nice courier snipe, tether forward from Chrissy. Got it with the illusions as well. Very well done. Sumail not expecting that whatsoever. And he might try to turn this big jukes from Chrissy. Then the tether back. He's going to survive. Man, I haven't had my caffeine yet, but he's waking me up here.
This really hurt Sumail. He was doing fine until that, but now he can't bottle Crow. That's how you hold your own against the Wisp Tiny. You just sit back, you spam, you bottle Crow. But
that is really big.
Now he's going to struggle to get farm. He can stay in the lane, probably not die, but getting farm without Shockwave mana is not easy.
Well, you said, Gods, that the supports on Rave need to step up for them in this match, and so far, I mean, Cast with a bit of a unfortunate mistake, but like Chrissy tried to make up for it.
And even though this Night Stalker in the bottom lane is getting fairly destroyed, like we talked, I don't know if you can say that fairly destroyed, but whatever, we'll go with it. He's getting levels, so come nighttime in about 20 seconds, he can start to put a lot of pressure on, for example, PPD's Lion right here. And considering how well Clinks does against melee heroes, like you talked about, David, he's still 7 CS is not awful at minute 4 for an offlane Night Stalker in this kind of matchup. The hero does have decent base armor, and that's a big advantage against Clinks in lane, of course. Most, let's say you take an offlane hero like Phoenix against Clinks. If Clinks gets any head start, Phoenix just dies so fast from just a couple of attacks.
Ryo is going to fight PPD, that low base armor Lion.
Got the mango.
He does, and he might need it just for that extra mana regen. Going to try to deny himself to the neutrals, ring around the wolves, doesn't manage to get the deny. And Rave, strike back here, getting a kill, and let the courier take down earlier. Things shaping up decently for them here. Universe tries to engage into Cast. He's really looking for that bash to come out. He's got a single point in the time lock, not finding it. We'll just Ninja Boogie for now, standing his own ground. Keeps on trying to juke this AUI stun. Now the Wisp comes in. They're going to turn this against AUI/Universe, and looks like AUI will drop another kill for Rave, who aren't done yet. Chase on the Universe into the trees. They force the TP out. He's going to miss a lot of experience during this time, and Ryo, he just casually drives by Fear. He might feed the courier. It barely escapes. Oh, man. Everything shaping up nicely for Rave.
And that kill by Night Stalker at the bottom rune is actually the classic way Night Stalkers get ahead in the game. It's the 4-minute rune. Either you don't, it's not, you don't think about it as a support, it's just a part of your routine that you go check the rune. But because the nighttime kicks in, the millisecond the rune spawns, you're basically, even if you get the rune as Lion, if that rune is not an invis or a haste, you're actually dead. Like, if you don't get any backup, Night Stalker will run you down. Even if it's a double damage, he still beats you in a fist fight. And I can't remember if PPD actually even got the rune or not, but he obviously didn't get the one he was looking for. And Night Stalker got a good amount of experience out of that. We saw the kill top as well. And the good news for EG is, sure, the Tiny is farming, but their Magnus is doing pretty well mid as well against the dual lane that he had to face. Clinks is doing well, and Universe is Void in the offlane. An offlaner that really needs farm if you want to turn him into any sort of semi-carry, not just be a walking Chronosphere. He has the potential here with
21 CS. Yeah, that is quite a bit. Now, the gank obviously helps him out a lot, the level 1 First Blood. We are going to see that Wisp only level 4 with the early rotations. Do they have any stacks in the jungle for the Dire side is what I'm wondering. We see Little
Yep.
bit of stacking
They
going
do.
on.
Oh, that actually a lot. That was 2 triple stacks and a double, right?
EG are decent at stealing stacks, and wouldn't be shocked if they tried to go for something we saw from, I think it was it IG, who just smoked into the enemy jungle, David, and stole a bunch of stacks when they were down heavy early game?
During
Was it Red Bull's
Bull?
group stage, I think?
Malaysia did that.
Oh, it was Malaysia that did
Yeah,
that.
Malaysia did that against Secret.
Yeah. I don't think EG have actually seen these yet. It's more just, you're up against Tiny
Yeah.
Wisp. You know they're going to be stacking.
You'd have to bring a lot of heroes, and that's the scary thing. At nighttime, I don't think you go for it because
They don't have like that Bat Rider or Axe that can just do
Yeah.
it solo. You have to commit a lot more.
If you have a hero that can do it solo, Malaysia had Shadow Fiend. I think Cloud9's done it with Bone7 on Batrider, where he'll just solo. He's offline. He's gotten zoned out. So instead of going to his own jungle, he just swoops on in, steals like an enemy Shadow Fiend stack. So they have a lineup which can clear stacks if they bring in like 2-3 heroes or just slowly shockwave it down. But they're not really the best lineup to go into an enemy
Could have an
jungle.
engagement bottom. Fear trying to force the Wisp back. Man, look at the damage. That low armor really going to hurt Chrissy. He doesn't have a tether back in 2 seconds. If he doesn't get stunned here, he should be okay and barely escapes.
They're forcing rotations.
Yeah.
That's decent for Rave.
Sid, I want to ask you, do you think tiny Blink Dagger is the way to go this game? We've seen a lot more of it as of late. I'm not sure what Jay was building towards, but what do you think this game? Is this like an Axe Rush type of game? Do you get your drums early? Blink, do you have a strong feeling about the item build?
I think Blink is really good when you're on team with Night Stalker. Every single night time you will have superior vision because of his night vision being 1800 against all of EG's heroes having 800. I think there's none of them that have any special. There's a lot of easy targets. Lion, Lina, and Klinks, unless Klinks is Death Pact on, will die to a tiny Avalanche toss combo, 100% certain. So I actually think more often than not, the Blink is the best build actually, and that the very farm-oriented build is kind of a thing of the past.
Yeah, it seems like everyone has gone towards that more and more. Sumail did get stunned there mid RP cast. There was a nice Avalanche to bail Jo out. They'll
I
retreat.
think he was going for that too. If he got that RP off, he was going for the skewer back shockwave.
They had him too. There's no defensive relocate, so really no way to stop it. But that first nighttime does end. Scores only 2-1. So far, I mean, it's been certainly for Rave coming in as underdogs, a very nice start, but they're not snowballing out of control yet by any means. Something their lineup with the Night Stalker, the Wisp, really wants to be doing.
By the way, something I've just noticed is Ninja Boogie's playing Viper. He's not actually on support.
Yeah, they switched up. I think Chrissy normally plays the Wisp for the team, doesn't he?
Whenever they have Wisp, Chrissy plays. That's how I remember it too.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thrown off slightly by that earlier.
Yeah, I saw
than
Ninja Boogie. I'm like, okay, that's right.
Anyone can play Viper.
Yeah.
As Pierre was quick to complain about at the NA Hub last year. God, he hates that hero. Oh man, losing to Viper, that would put him on the old man on tilt. I'm pretty sure.
So far, pretty good for Rave. They've got the 2 top net worth heroes.
Run.
Their supports are well ahead of the EG supports. I feel like the Lion Lena have accomplished nothing since getting first blood for the team.
Yep. Oh, cast mid lane. That's gonna be a 4-shot. AUI comes in. We'll get the last hit. Easy takedown though, and Wisp, Witch Doctor, low armor heroes up against Klinks, heavy physical damage. They have to be careful, and they're not. They are going to be easy pickoffs.
If you imagine like seeing him output damage like that, if you imagine him having a Death Side, it's actually a 2-shot. I mean, you don't have a Death Side main at 10 in general, but you get the idea. In a few minutes, he could have it. Oh, actually, Chrono here onto Ryo. PPD is coming in from the back.
No finger gets off the stun. They're going to need some bashes to get the job done. Nice tether in by Chrissy. Not enough, though. They get the kill. Jo comes with the turn, but he misses on the Avalanche. Universe has the time walk back. Cass going to follow. He's low, not dead just yet. Sumail continuing to engage, and PPD with the 1 hero stun. That Wisp out of the fight. 2 dead, make it 3. EG, superior numbers. Where's the Viper through all this? He's just farming top lane. Felt like a fight where they really could have used him.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't have a TP, but he was next to the side shop, and
I'm not sure if he TP'd in top or just had him bought a TP, but to me, if you're not going to bring the Viper in, you just don't take that fight.
yeah, that made a world of difference. Actually, I think they might not win the fight, but they would at least get a decent trade if Viper comes in there. Probably getting 2 kills, maybe, but. And that's a very big win for EG.
This is scary as well. Like, EG, once they get their level 6s, they have so much burst damage, so much team fight, and everyone has their ultimate now. The Void, Magline, and Lina. That first nighttime for Rave, Score was 2-1. It looked like things were still going reasonably well, but this is what can happen is once the other team's ready for you with their big ults, they can completely swing the game.
Yeah, and all it took was EG to find one good fight. Suddenly their supports have caught up, as you mentioned, have their level 6s, and are actually ahead in farm compared to the Rave supports. Your Mag finishes a Blink, Fear's getting close to some decent items as well, and actually gets a Helm of the... picks up the Helm of Iron Will, and a bit of a interesting little pickup here coming out.
Oh, he might find the courier. Alright, guess not.
Is he building Armlet?
I was about to say,
Armlet's pretty legit on Clinkz, I think.
It's... I don't think Helm of the Dominator is good.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like it's like just for the burst damage of an armlet, you can kind of synergize it with the Death Pact.
It helps you survive the tiny burst a lot. It gives you good damage, and yeah, you have... The main thing with the armlet is always having the sustain, and that's something Clinkz does have from Death Pact, so...
Could you get the HP back that you lose when your Death Pact wears off? So in some ways, like the HP you lose, like you have your armlet on for a while your Death Pact did, you lose, and then like you turn your armlet off, your Death Pact ends, and suddenly you're full HP again.
Oh shit, how is it works? When, let's say you have a base health of 600 and then you cast Death Pact.
Yes.
And then if you have like 900 health, when Death Pact ends, you go back to your flat 600 full instead of maintaining the percentage you have
Yes,
relative.
exactly.
Yes, it works like a heal, basically.
So that's where armlet makes sense.
Yeah.
Chrono comes out, Universe with a nice dodge, allowing Fear to continue to engage here. Follow-up stun from Lina, they get the kill. Now the turn on Fear. Laguna doing decent damage, followed up by the Finger. The relocates here. The Chuck goes on a PPD, though, doesn't finish off Fear in the end, who's just going to scurry away on the Clinkz. Universe now trouble. Big airball RP by Sumail, but there's not a whole lot of follow-up regardless. Skewer comes through, they bring each other back, saving the Clinkz. They get nothing.
That was...
What a train wreck of a fight for Rave.
It did get
It is
dominated.
Dominator.
Interesting.
Man.
I like that armlet theory crafting though.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons why you get reasons why you normally get Dominator. To stack Ancients, to try and roast early, or to sustain. Clinkz
yeah.
doesn't really need the sustain.
You know,
maybe he could take roast.
You know, it's just a Death Pact. He brings the creep around him in the middle of a fight. He can Death Pact and have
that's
it.
nice.
That's true. That's
and
a really
also
good point.
Dominator gets plus 500 HP, so you get a lot of it's even more HP and damage.
That is actually a really good point.
Oh yeah, after the buff to Helm of the Dominator. That's actually really, really good.
I can't believe we didn't see that. I know.
Well, wait, so how many Clinkz games have there been in this version?
It's when was it that patch came in that gave the Dominator creep 500 health? That was 683, I think.
Yeah.
So it's relatively new, but Clinkz wasn't really a pick, but that's very, very true. That's actually really
Because that's
cool.
always been one of Clinkz's problems. We kind of talked about when the hero was first picked. You go into the jungle, you Death Pact a creep, and it can take maybe 20, 30 seconds before you find a kill or a fight. By then, your Death Pact is wearing off.
So how well is it the Clinkz ulti scales? Like how much does he get out of this 500 health? So he gets 6.5% damage, so that's another 35, right? Wait, what am I saying? Yeah, 1% of 500 health is 5.
Yep.
And then times 6.5. So that's like an extra 32.5 damage or whatever on level 1.
And the HP as well.
And the HP. And you're getting that for 2,000 gold. That's actually a really, really good investment.
Yeah, you're looking at a couple hundred extra.
And that's where you can just use it on, like, even if there's, like, a lane creep. Like, you could just dominate a lane creep and then use Death Pact on it. And suddenly it's not just like a normal lane creep, it's like a mega creep kind of HP.
Okay. Well, EG here looking really good, though. Universe starting to get his farm. They are stacking Ancients for the Empowered Void to clean up later on, and he gets his Mask of Madness now. Have a nice little
quote-unquote instant
draft replay. Here we go.
This is the kill and miss.
Yeah. Easy takedown.
Easy. We should just rename the instant replay pit to the "This is what Weppers missed."
Throwing everyone under the bus here, man. I guess you're mad at Slacks. You're taking out on other people.
I was almost run over this morning. Slacks is a madman.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. So what are we looking at here? It feels like EG are not that far ahead, considering they're 9-2 minute 16. They've taken 2 towers, they've lost 1, but the implications on the game now is it's difficult for Rave now to play split anymore.
Well, Skewer by Sumail into a bit of an attack from Fear. Lays into him nice and thick. Good cast comes out, though. The death ward's there. Blink, counter initiation, gets 2. Nice turn from Rave. They have Chrono and RP though. Gotta be careful about diving. Another airball by Sumail. The Chrono's perfect, but where's the follow-up in Sphere? Trying to get the job done. The Wiz does go home. Ninja Boogie runs in, sacrificing his own life. A 2-for-1, but both ultis blown by EG. Pretty damn good for Rave.
The one good thing for EG when it comes to their lineup is you see a lot of these wombo combo lineups where you have like massive long cooldown AoE ultimates and then you have a downtime where your team is pretty weak. But when you combine this kind of draft with the Clinks who can constantly roam around the map, then even when those ultimates are down, the enemy team can't just play safe because Fear can easily solo Witch Doctor or Io at any point in time if he isolates them. We're gonna see him try on Ryo here. I don't think this one's gonna work, but
Does force out the ulti, drives him back, and this is generally what you see from Clinks, either getting kills or just creating a lot of space, and that's where having the Void as an offlaner that can farm works really well, because he can take advantage of the space and look to clear the Ancients, look to get a bit of additional farm around the map.
this is an interesting stat. This is the sixth Helm of the Dominator.
I mean, it's probably less than we probably haven't even seen 6 Clinks games since the buff.
Yeah, and I think more or less all of those Helm of the Dominator games were probably Satanic buildup.
Yeah.
For
like
late
60,
game.
70 minutes.
I don't remember seeing this this play with Clinks before, at least.
No, it's
this
definitely
kind of
something new. I'm sure something Fear's been practicing and saving up for a big event. Sumail will go in, though. Blink Skewer on the mid lane, does catch Ninja Boogie. They pull him back with a stun. Laguna Blade's there, and the mech comes out just in the nick of time. Now the turn from the Tony. Brains down one, diving onto Fear. There's no Chrono, and they're trying to take advantage of it. Deathport comes out. Where's the detection for Fear? They don't have it. Good disengage from EG. Managing to stem the bleeding a bit here. And Fear wanting to re-engage. They did drop the sentry, but it was a bit too late to get anything done. Nice, but Rave are fighting well when these cooldowns are not available.
They have such a strong lineup for brawling right now too. Like they have the mech on Viper, Tiny with Blink Drums, fairly tanky, and of course the Wisp and
Vlad's as well.
the Vlads. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this pickup on Night Stalker.
There comes the stun. Universe, not really needed. PPD's like, I got this.
I guess to pay for the rune. Universe is actually very rich. This was a position 3 Void. He's out farming the
He had the 2
position 2
supports
max.
at least.
Yeah.
Like it was a tri lane, but yeah. Still a lot more farm on Universe than you'd normally expect.
I mean, the concern for me for Rave is, do you want this going late? Sure, you have Tiny Wisp, but I feel like every hero on EG scales well. They're getting a lot of
don't
farm
win
on
late game.
all of their cores.
You don't want to go late against EG. If you're Rave now, you look maybe... I don't know what you look for, actually, if there's any more key pickups. A Pipe would be pretty nice against Lion Lina, or a Glimmer Cape or 2 really, really good against these 2 heroes. Glimmer Cape for the Io in particular would be amazing. And then you probably need to look for something like a Smoke Gank and then getting Roche, because you need to build an advantage here.
Yeah. I mean, Night Stalker, Ags, Gem would be great, but realistically, we are a very long way off of that, and this could be trouble for Ryo in the tree line. He's spotted out by the Clinks here. They're starting to bring in the gang. They want to swing around, and they'll just time walk right in. The Wisp is fairly nearby, though. Might be able to relocate him out. No, not quite there just yet. The Hex coming out with Tiny back. They mech him as well. Ryo tanky will end up falling. And they
No one in EG wanted that kill.
could have tried for the defensive relocate, but worried that that'll just give EG a chance to set up and turn the fight. Yeah, he just, well, I guess we'll kill him.
They have to protect their own jungle. Fear is going to be doing this all game until they start catching him off guard, but his BKB is almost completed, actually. Looking really good in the net worth with about 9k at minute 20. Or just not... I feel like the majority of Rave's plays are reactionary, and they need to take some initiative. The problem is, they want to relocate in the Tiny Wisp, but they're engaged at the Tiny. They don't have anything that really sets up a relocate gank that nice.
I mean, that's a good point. I think it's entirely the vision. EG have had good aggressive wards. Rave have no vision, and you've got the Clinks always running around in your jungle, so... How do you find those openings when you don't know where they are or what they're up to? It's very dangerous to just go wandering around the EG jungle knowing that a Chrono RP could be waiting for you.
Gonna try to split push. This is another way of doing it.
But now they do start to get some wards up. They've now got a ward off in the Radiant jungle, and they're gonna pressure this tower bottom. TPs are coming in though. The Magnus is here. Sumail, Blake RP connects on 2. Gets silenced before the skewer back, but it doesn't seem it'll matter. Another bubble on 2 more, and Universe lays in lots of bashes for him. Uni going to work, gonna slice up Ninja Boogie. 4 fall. And with that, Rave completely on the back foot.
Important for Sumail to get a little bit of momentum here. He's had a couple of pretty, let's be honest, pretty bad RPs.
Yeah, that one was a bit of a gimme, but you know
Finally
you're
lands.
going to hit some of these ultimates. You have RP and Chrono. Like, missing them both is very unlikely.
It's a 4k gold swing in EG's favor and a Roche, so this is more like 5k plus maybe a tier 1 mid if they want to backdoor that. It is a possibility. I think they won't do that though, so probably going to settle for a 5k win here. Are they going to give the Aegis to Universe? They are. Giving it to him over Fear. Fear's probably going to be able to stay alive anyway. He's
Honestly, the Clink,
insane how tanky he
the
is.
Clinks is way more durable than the Void, especially when Mask of Madness goes off. All right, well, Sin, you mentioned Rave doesn't want this to go late. What do they do now? Doesn't feel like they have a whole lot of ability to fight. Yeah.
With Tiny, that's all you can do here at this point is just hope for the ultra late game Tiny to carry you to victory in some ways.
The thing is, it's just not a good matchup for Tiny. I mean, it's one thing that the enemy team has really good late gamers on paper, but both of their carries are actually good counters to Tiny, I would say.
Yeah, they've got
one of the better ones, especially when it's a Tiny Wisp. You can catch both in the Chrono, and Clinks is... he deals ridiculous damage late game to single target.
his big weakness is normally just that people will run at him, but he's got the Void and the Magnus to keep them off.
Yep.
And they're getting close to some more items. Just got the AUI 2000 Yules, the PPD Blink Dagger coming soon. At that point, everyone on EG has their basic kit. And looking at Rave, you've got a Witch Doctor and 1800 health. He's just, or 1800 gold rather. He's just 1800 health would be pretty sweet actually.
Yeah, that's the Clinks.
These EG supports will go
He's
late
just
game
total
just
food.
fine. You have a Lina with Yules who can even farm towards an Accept, whatever it may be. Lion is an amazing late game support with Blink Hex. It's an EG lineup which is in a very comfortable position right now.
And one thing I actually wanted to talk about earlier, when you do this Helm of the Dominator build on Clinks, Clinks is a hero that kind of usually runs into mana problems if you go for something like that. That's part of the appeal in the Orchid build-up is getting the mana regen as well so you can keep going, but Fear went for both Soul Ring and Aquila this game, so it doesn't really have mana issues and allows him to go for this kind of innovative build, I would say.
Yeah, Soul Rain just such a value item on Clinks in general.
Yeah, that one isn't so new,
Yeah.
but Soul Ring and Aquila together I feel like is not that common. It's generally either or, because else it's too expensive and your Orchid gets delayed too much, but
Yeah.
what if you don't go Orchid?
The Orchid build seems like it. I haven't seen that much Clinks, but I feel like it may just be falling off in general. Chrono will come out mid, onto Ryo they go, and with Fear there. It's an easy takedown. They skewer Ninja Boogie back into the Chrono as it expires. Chrissy joins the fight. Deathward comes out by Cast, a good one, but just focusing on Fear, who's far too tanky for this team, and tickle him. They'll lose the Witch Doctor, perhaps more as well. Tony thrown up in the air. Ninja Boogie getting clobbered, will be brought down. They still can't finish the Void, and now the RP on Jo, catching him out. Follow-up stun. They'll bring him down too. It's a triple for the old man. Rave getting demolished by EG here.
Yikes. This is starting to get bad. They're going to lose Io in the mid lane. They traded for an Aegis, which is, I mean, as good as it gets for Rave, but that was just
It's looking pretty out of reach, honestly.
I mean, at the very least, it looks like are they past the average game time for this tournament?
They're at around the average.
That's
Around the
actually
average.
insane.
We've had only 2 games or something go over 30 minutes, I think, or something.
I don't think there's ever been a tournament.
Nice play from Sumail. 4-staff blink.
We're setting records here at the Summit 3. Perhaps not the kind the viewers are looking for, but I don't know if there's ever been an event with this many sub 30-minute games.
Remember.
And 2-0s. We may go 8 2-0s in a row
And
before we see a 3-game series.
A lot of people remember TI4 as that tournament where every game was just a death ball, 15-minute win. But as a matter of fact, that was only the very end of the playoffs. Like, the entire tournament actually had a lot of long games and yeah. People will often remember the grand finals, and for TI4, that's unfortunate, but it was actually the tournament average match time, I think, was maybe closer to like 40 minutes.
Yeah, the TI4 group stage games and even the playoffs up until that grand finals were honestly all really good games in my opinion. And like you said, long ones in a lot of cases. Well, Rave now, it's not looking too good, and not sure how they bounce back, to be honest. BKBs deal so well with the Tiny at this point. feels like it's got to just be outmaneuvering EG. You have the Wisp, you have the Night Stalker.
Wow. That was actually sub 25.
I would have said like 26,
All right,
maybe.
so Rave are they're doing better. They're doing better than the average here.
Yeah. Is that a sign of weakness from EG? They're not winning fast enough in the 26 minute game.
Yeah. What are you doing, EG?
Fortified.
It's going to take a really big throw to lose this game now for EG. A team that generally takes their time. I guess we should mention that as well. Like, even if they could push high ground and win right now, historically they like to build a big enough advantage and get the key items they need before they go high ground. Less of a YOLO team than EG has been in the past. I think it's been a big part of their success and getting rid of that old reputation of throwing a lot of games has just been patience when it comes to high grounding. I do believe if they went high ground now, they would probably win, but in that 5% off chance that the fight fails, why? Just wait for Aegis and then go.
Wait for Aegis, next round of items. Universe does go into the Ags now, so Refresher could well be the choice after this. Now it's the mana pool to support it.
Oh,
the
it
Daedalus
has
complete
full Daedalus. Jeez.
And Empower, level 4. This is going to be scary.
Yeah. Put in power on Universe as well as Fear, and those two just wreck face.
Just looking to find the Wisp here. Universe is wrapping around. He's just going to Chrono straight in onto Chrissy, and there is nothing they can do about it. They'll take the creeps as well. Now a Hex finds Cast, isolated the tree line, gets pushed back. RP does end up getting canceled by Sumail. Hangs onto it for now. They don't even need it. They'll bring down Ryo too. That's 2 dead.
Did Fear just crit for 900 on a Night Stalker? Or that's before armor, right? The number it shows.
Yeah, I believe so.
But still.
Brutal.
That's Empower and a Wolf for you.
You just keep on going.
He hits for 400. He actually hits for 400 without a DD. That's insane.
Not a fun game to be a Rave support, that's for sure.
No, and they pick pretty squishy supports, to be honest, if they get focused.
With Acceptor, Universe has another Chronosphere up in 10 seconds as well.
Yeah,
This is
I think
really
with that,
scary.
you can go high ground here.
Yeah.
And they will.
PPD. Great
Nice
ward
ward by
nice
PPD.
ward,
This
yeah.
is going to scout out Ninja Boogie. The Blink Skewer will find him. Wisp is ready with the relocate. They may be forced to use it. Tether for now. Does use it.
They baited it out.
EG can just go with the Chrono onto that. Chrono does come out onto 2. Quickly dealing with Ryo. Ninja Boogie trying to turn this Laguna follow-up. RP connects on Cast. He gets brought down. Now the finger of jail. The Flu's another 2. It's GG. Evil Geniuses just crushing Rave in the opening match of this best of 3 elimination match.
The start was solid for Rave. It was that one bottom fight where everything turned around though.
And that was just a simple outnumber. They ran in kind of one by one. They didn't TP in the Viper, who really needed to be there. Didn't structure their fight so well, and then Clinks took over the map. I think this is very classic. If you go back a year or maybe a year and a half when Empire used to run safe lane Clinks all the time on Funnick and also on Silent, this is the style you play. You safe lane for like 10 minutes and then you're off the map. And then the supports can't farm the jungle. Even some of the cores can't farm the jungle. You have to